My name is Dan Farrell, and I'm the program coordinator for the Phantom Regiment. I've been with the Corps since 1972 as a marching member, brass instructor, program coordinator, advisor, and a member of the board of directors.
My name is Dan Richardson. I've been with the Corps since 1956 as a marching member, instructor, program coordinator, and member of the board of directors. I'm currently the program advisor. Here is Joey Bielik, one of our two conductors, and coming up is a close-up of our trademark appearance of the conductor's baton, which always seems to get a reaction from the audience.
This year's show is entitled Harmonic Journey, which, on its most basic level, is a study in contrast.
We concentrated heavily this year on movement for the entire Corps with a movement program, utilizing ballet, modern dance moves, which we rehearsed all winter long with our traditional marching techniques.
Here in Pachelbel's Canon is where we really set the stage in terms of contrast with consonant harmony. Brass arranger J.D. Shaw does such a wonderful job of creating a feeling of absolute purity with this piece.
That purity, by the way, also shows up in the uniforms as well, being white and black. First major movement of the show is coming up. We introduced each piece with a single color guard, first the saber and now the flag. This is a first big moment of the show, and guard designer Johann helps produce a big, beautiful section with his double flags, which is the really first big unison movement of the show. And you can see the audience really gets into it with their applause and with the flashbulbs.
This is the first time that the audience gets a real taste of that big Phantom Regiment sound, really created through the years, both through the open arranging and through the way the players are taught through their fundamentals program.
There's another example of the movement that we have throughout the show. Field coverage here is quite good, and we need to show that early on, right at the beginning of the show, that we use the entire canvas.
Now, underneath the Canon, Wild Nights sneaks in with the underlying ostinato. And what we try to do as this tune gets going is to create actual mobile chamber ensembles on the field, each with its own unique instrumentation.
This was really difficult to do visually with the trumpets, the euphoniums, and the mellophones within each of the section. You can see here that each section is made up of a variety of horns, and to get them into those positions was a real challenge for our visual staff and designers. And then to get them back into their own formation was another challenge. Each of those chamber orchestra ensemble groups was introduced by a member of the Guard. This is an especially good push-pull moment. At the boxes on the outside of each of these lines, in the drum line, really push and pull and motivate. This was excellent for our composition. That's another great moment for the color guard, and our designers really did a great job of emphasizing those soprano trills. And here we go with an ending, but not really an ending, to the first part of that piece.
All right,
so it continues on.
Yeah, we keep the tune going with the underlying ostinato underneath.
The brass section hands it over to the percussion, and musically it fits very beautifully.
You know, the nice thing here is percussion arranger Paul Rennick does such a nice job of featuring the various percussion sections, and he does it while still maintaining the musical flow of the piece, and I think that's really key to the arrangement.
We draw attention to the fact that the percussion is taking over here by the players, the horn players, actually taking their horns down, putting them away, and doing a little dance movement. The color guard here, I wanted to point out the design of the flags that is the same similar pattern throughout the show, but a different color, indicating different emotional moment and a different feel for each of the particular pieces.
This was a really tough form to clean up. Brass and percussion spread not only wide but deep.
Here is an excellent, well-coordinated movement of all three pieces. Oh, look at how the guard, it shows the guard how clean they are. And this we call the mixer or the grinder, when all three pieces of the core is involved in this total movement. Here comes a unique effect where the percussion, the battery, just slams into the horns and disintegrates the total picture. It was an excellent, excellent effect, really appreciated by the audience.
At the end of this company front, as it forms, you'll see one of the real trademarks of the corps, the regiment kick halt.
Yeah, right there. Excellent.
Now, in terms of contrast, on its most basic level, we have tension and release, from the cacophony to the what's really a breath of fresh air.
This is a really interesting drill move, and again, we're utilizing the whole canvas, and at the same time doing one of the newer dance moves that we tried this year. And of course, there's the appearance of the blue flag signifying the Canon return.
The Lord's Prayer starts off with a terrific opportunity for the front ensemble, featured several times through the show, but probably none better than this moment right here. And then we move right into the beautiful low brass sound that the Phantom Regiment is known for. I think visual coordinator Tony Hall really succeeded here in creating a liturgical feel with the visual production.
Visually, we have a structured and layered effect with the brass in front kneeling down, standing up in the center, and in the back we have the poles giving that added extra texture. Here we introduce the red flag, which signifies to us passion and glory. The color guard in the front we didn't have to practice this emotion because they actually really felt it coming through. All eyes are on the color guard at this moment. And what we have is an uplifting, yearning, emotional moment leading upward and ascending upward. It's the feel we wanted. I thought it turned out really well.
Now we start building toward what is basically just a classic Phantom Regiment ballad climax, and then on to the ending. And what some people don't necessarily realize is that you can't get this kind of sound without hours and hours of weeks and months of training. This starts at the very beginning, right after the audition process. And then we layer right on top of that the body work that became a signature of the corps this year.
This is just a terrific effect of the show. We have the color guard coming up front, the entire corps doing a sequential dance move. Toward the end, it just is an excellent, excellent ending to the Lord's Prayer.
Now we move into Bartók's Ostinato from Mikrokosmos.
In this piece, our visual designer, Johnny Sanchez, did a great job of visual orchestration. Utilizing the whole field as his mixing board, he really stages the euphoniums right there, the trumpets coming up, and the mellophones as well. Does a great job of staging of all of the elements. There are the trumpets, and soon will come the mellophones, who puts everything together. It was really quite nice.
And then the musical line follows right around the form. Such a nice job. I really love the clarity of the musical line throughout this whole section. Paul does such a wonderful job of that in his writing.
Coming up here is a surprise color change from the pink flag to the yellow flag. It just sort of appears out of seemingly nowhere, right there. Excellent. We have coming up a series of moves which just engages the audience and keeps you transfixed. This is, again, such a nice job of staging.
And then here we go with the Canon reprise. This works so well for us. JD really hits a home run with this one. Johnny brings back the form from the Canon. Paul keeps the energy going with the percussion. Then as they come up to the front, they grab the mellophones. The mellophones join in, moving back through the form, keeping the energy going underneath the Canon melody. This was just absolutely terrific.
And then we go visually. We do the crab step, a little hop, which is something new for the activity this year, our 360, keep going one hit right after another to completely engage the audience. And again, here we see the color guard adding so much to this ending production, which simply adds one layer on top of another. The cross through, which also was very effective. And we're coming up to probably our most traditional signature moment, which is the kneel, the foot out. The members just loved playing this, and the audience just ate it up. We loved it too. It was a great, great ending to a wonderful year.
Yeah, it really was a terrific year. The members, when they came off the field, as you'll see in some of these close-ups, were really beside themselves. They were so pleased with the way not only the performance had gone, but the whole season. It was absolutely terrific. We'd really like to thank the fans that saw us and supported us throughout the year. We got support from them in so many ways. And thank you all very much. We'll see you again next year, and hopefully we can top it.